Our chat today will cover themes of sexual assault and the trauma that followed our guest's personal experience in this area. This may be triggering to some, and viewer discretion is advised. Please also note no negative commentary will be tolerated.
Hey guys, Lily Jean Berry back for the Faction and Kill Your Stereo. Redhook are going from strength to strength as they continue to dominate Australia and are setting their sights on the rest of the world. They've just come off the back of some epic festival slots. They just finished their mammoth headline, Bring Your Mates tour. Redhook are about to release possibly their most powerful single yet, and I have the absolute queen, Emmy Mack, here to talk to us all about it. How are you, Emmy?
Hello. I'm a bit physically I'm a bit broken from tour, but I managed to sprain both my feet jumping off the stage in Perth. So I've just been hobbling around like a 100-year-old granny.
Can we just blame Perth for that? Let's just blame Perth in general.
Sorry, damn it, Perth. Why would you do this to me?
Sorry to all our friends and listeners that are from there, but come on, Perth. This is your fault.
That's it. We traveled 50,000 kilometers to get there, and this is what we get. It was great. It was so worth it. Totally worth it.
Oh, great. I'm so glad. Your next single, Jabberwocky, it's coming out this Friday, and some people may have been lucky enough to hear it on Triple J last night. There is a lot to cover with this song. I want you to know that this is your safe space to use your voice to elaborate on this piece of art. But if at any point anything gets too difficult to explain, please just let me know and I'll jump in. Is that okay with you, Emmy?
That's amazing. Thank you so much, Lily. I really appreciate it. And I'm crapping my pants a little bit to have this conversation. It's still very it's still like talking about this song is still like really scary, but I really appreciate you making me feel safe and just being such a legend. So thank you.
I will continue to do my very best for you, darling. All right. Firstly, before we get into the song specifically, can you explain to us what a Jabberwocky is for anyone who doesn't know?
Yeah, so I think like a lot of people have probably heard of it. It's like this like terrifying kind of like dragon monster from like the Alice in Wonderland, Alice Through the Looking Glass universe. Now it wasn't in the OG like Disney movie. It was supposed to be, but they edited it out because they thought it would scare kids too much. And but basically like for me, I guess the significance for me of the Jabberwocky was because I grew up on like the Disney version of Alice in Wonderland, and I remember when I was a little kid, there was like this really it was probably kind of crappy, like this crappy like made for TV version of Alice in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass by a guy named Alan Irwin. I think it was from the 70s, and it was
I watched it as well.
Dude, yeah. Do you remember it? I literally thought that nobody else would know about this movie. Yeah, like Ringo Starr was in it randomly.
Yeah,
like,
it used to play on like daytime TV and stuff like that when I was a kid. Like 100%,
dude,
I remember it. But was it like
literally?
Was it kind of like a two-part thing?
Yeah. I can't believe you remember it. That's so wild.
So far in the back of my brain, and just you saying that has brought it so like from like the depths that I didn't even know I remembered that. And then
that is so wild, man. Oh my god, I literally did not expect anybody to get this ref. But anyway, like it was significant to me because so coming from like I hadn't read the books at this point because I was a little kid. So the thing about that version that really like fucked me up. Am I allowed to say fucked?
Oh, sorry. Fucking go for it.
Oh, sick. Yeah, cool. I'm a massive potty mouth. But yeah, the thing about it that really fucked me up was it had this terrifying monster in it called the Jabberwocky that I'd never heard of. And like and now I know now because I've read the books, like so they just took a bit of license with because the Jabberwocky is a poem from the original Alice in Wonderland, but in this version they took the monster out of the poem and they made it like they plonked it in Wonderland, and it turns up at all these random times just to basically scare the shit out of Alice. And it also like scared the shit out of me as a kid. Yeah, you know, it was I used to have mad nightmares about it. And then like eventually though, the way like I think like they it's sort of meant to symbolize, you know, all of Alice's kind of childish fears, you know, being scared of the dark, being scared of like the monster that lives under your bed. And in the end, the way that she's finally able to get home and vanquish it is by like basically realizing that it doesn't exist, and like sort of screaming at it, like, I don't believe in you, I don't believe in you.
Not real.
Yeah, like,
yeah,
totally, like mind over matter sort of thing. And that's how she's kind of able to yeah, like vanquish the demon and go home. So yeah, that's what the Jabberwocky is to me.
which is pretty heavy.
Yeah.
Like, and as a kid, like, would have been so much to process. And it's so funny, like, you bringing up that version of Alice in Wonderland that I watched as a kid and not even remembering that I knew that, but then like mentioning the Jabberwocky, and that's been something that you've remembered from all of that. I guess in the context of the song Jabberwocky, and what the song is about, how did this become the name and the reference, and what is the relevance for anyone who doesn't know?
So yeah, it was weird. So this song, as you mentioned, it's probably our, I guess, our darkest and probably most serious song that Redhook's ever put out, and probably the most personal for me as well. And it was based on a really kind of messed up experience I had back in 2019. And it was weird because it was Redhook's first ever overseas tour. So on the one hand, I was having the time of my life, you know, like my dreams were coming true. We were like playing our music in front of thousands of people on the other side of the world. Like, it was incredible. But then at the same time, sorry, it was post tour, the post tour cough. But yeah, this at the same time, pretty early on in the tour, we had you know, we played Download UK, and we'd had these two incredible shows in Germany, and we had our first sort of night off. And so we went, we decided to celebrate, you know, we were in the mood to celebrate. It was great. So we went out, yeah, and like, you know, hit the sauce pretty hard. And we were walking, I remember, you know, it was nighttime, and we were kind of walking back to the accommodation, and I kind of like could have got separated from everyone, and I like needed to use the bathroom. So I went, I found like this random venue, and I and I, yeah, just asked if I could go inside and use the bathroom. And security guard showed me to the bathroom, and it was really weird. I just remember it was really dark and just like kind of empty. And I, yeah, basically, yeah, went in, heard this pretty like this kind of frantic knock at the door, like in the cubicle where I was. And I thought, oh, like it sounded like I was like authoritative, like I was in trouble. And I was like, oh, they must think I'm doing drugs in here or something. Like, and I opened the door, like ready to kind of sort out, you know, smooth it over. And just like, no,
yeah,
like,
is everything okay?
Yeah, I was sort out. And yeah, basically, yeah, and the guy just like barged in and yeah, like sexually assaulted me. And it was mega messed up. And so the whole, I mean, so that experience, I guess the weirdest thing was like being on tour. I didn't really have time to process it, you know what I mean? Like it was and I couldn't let myself go to pieces either, because that night, you know, the next day we had to pack up the van and drive to another country and play a show in front of 3,000 people. So what I did to kind of get through it and like, yeah, not let myself go to pieces was to just convince myself that it was just a bad dream, that it didn't exist, kind of like. And that's where the whole concept of the Jabberwocky comes back in, because you know that's just like Alice in that movie. That's how I vanquished that demon in my mind, to be able to sort of go on with the show and do that to her. And you know, I think I did a pretty good job. Like it ended up, you know, all the shows were awesome. And yeah, and I guess I think it's also a pretty apt metaphor for trauma as well, because you know,
absolutely,
where like, especially, you know, thinking back to that movie that we both watched when we were kids, the way that it sort of just comes out like this, you know, monster just comes out of nowhere at random times just to terrify Alice when she least expects it. I mean, I think anybody who's experienced any kind of trauma can relate to that. Like, it comes up and it just like fucking attacks you whenever, like, sometimes it doesn't even need a trigger, sometimes it just comes out of nowhere. So I just
posted along and you're like, cool, I'm actually doing pretty sweet, and then
feel
it's like, it's, for me, it manifests as this like person that runs past me, and I picture it as, I know this sounds really stupid, but I picture it as Captain America in the second Captain America, where I'm just trying to run and then he keeps passing me going, on your left, on your left. Like, that's how it manifests for me. And it's like, you can just be like running along, just doing your life, and then you're just like, can you just stop, like, just stop running past me? Like,
yeah, literally just
I get it. Like, I get it, you're there. Like, I don't need to be reminded every time. Like, yeah. So
literally
I just want to, for a few things, I want to acknowledge that it's super brave of you to have shared that story with me. I feel honored that you feel comfortable enough to speak to me about this, and knowing that this is going to be shared with, you know, quite a lot of people. I'm deeply sorry that this has happened to you, and I'm grateful that you've spoken out. I guess I want to ask, like, the songwriting process when you it's 2019 was quite some time ago, but at the same time, like, that's still quite fresh, and it's not like we all haven't been through a mass amount of trauma since then. 2020 and 2021 in themselves, especially living in Australia, have been, I mean, quite horrendous. How did it become a song for you, and was that therapeutic in some way, and how did you go, okay, I need to write about this, and it needs to be a song, and this is what it needs to be called? Can you talk us through that process a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think for me, and I'm sure like a lot of people that listen to heavier music, I think one of the main ways that we all deal with trauma and when fucked up shit happens in life is by listening to music. You know, it helps us heal. Even, you know, even like sad shit and angry shit, like, we put it on when we're feeling those emotions and it helps us. Like, there's a very
100%.
important catharsis there with healing. And for me, like, and I've always done that, you know, in my darkest times of life, when, you know, I've been like incredibly depressed or like anything bad's happened, there's always been, I can always pick a song, like one song that, you know, I'll play on repeat because every time I hear it, it just articulates what I'm going through. And this was the first time for me going through something where I didn't, I couldn't really, there wasn't really a song that really encapsulated it, that that really spoke to me and that experience and what I was going through. And I thought, and I feel like it's strange, especially you know, like you said, being 2022 and sorry, all of the trauma, and especially like in the wake of the Me Too movement. And I feel like, you know, like, I was trying to say this the right way, it's kind of weird, like, especially like in, you know, heavy music and pop punk, I feel like every we're just seeing stories all the time about these high profile male predators in our industry, right?
Yeah.
And it fucking sucks, and it's devastating, and it's fucked up. And yet there are so few songs in the genre that deal with these issues from a female perspective. So I just kind of felt like, I hope this doesn't sound wanky, but I just kind of felt like a responsibility to write something for other people. And then what I didn't expect, or I don't know, in the process of it, was that it really, really kind of helped me. It's kind of helped me. Sorry. Because, yeah, just like it really come to terms with what had happened and start the healing process kind of 3 years later.
Yeah.
Because the thing was, like, you know, by the time we got back to Australia, which was about 2.5 weeks after this happened, I'd almost become like it had just kind of become second nature. Like the denial of what had happened had become so normalized for me that I just kept doing it,
Yeah,
you
if you're
know. And I
messing
think,
up straight away, like how are you supposed to
yeah,
bring that back up? Yeah,
bring
just
it
go,
back
oh,
up.
cool,
And
now I'm
I
good
didn't.
now. Like switch a button.
Yeah, and
Go, oh, cool, now I'll deal with it. It's on my schedule. Yeah,
literally,
yeah.
literally, and that's it. And it wasn't until yeah, and this, like, I mean, writing this is kind of like dredged up a lot, but it's been very cathartic and healing. So yeah, there's been even though it's about a fucked up subject matter, it's been a really cathartic process and a real healing process. And I mean, like, yeah, and even just, you know, it's not even out yet, but we were playing it on tour because I wanted to share it with our, you know, our fans first. And just even like I can't even tell you how many people you know, I have come up to me after the shows, or like DM'd the band or DM'd me after with just incredible words of like support, and just people saying that they relate to it so much. And even like already I just feel like so, like, it's just been so worth it, even just for that. So yeah, it's been incredible.
It's hard, you know, to make light of such a dark situation, but I love that you can explain that you felt you needed to do this for other people to have something to cling on to, and in that you found a way to start to process it yourself. And I love that you touched on that you've played it live a little bit, because I wanted to touch on that as well. You know, I've seen Redhook play a few times now, and it's a pretty big party. It's a high energy set, and you know, I haven't been fortunate enough to see Jabberwocky live yet, but was there a level of concern? It's so great. I want to start with, it's so great that you've received such a beautiful positive response, but did you have a level of concern sort of putting a deeper song like this into your party like set list?
I think I like that wasn't so much the concern for me. About, I think it's nice. Like I'm a big fan of like the light and shade. Like all my favorite shows, live shows ever, are the ones that have those different moments. And I think if anything, that's kind of the moment that our set was missing.
Yeah.
Was that real like light is out emotional kind of moment. So it was really beautiful to have to put that in. What I was mostly concerned about, first of all, I was worried about doing the song justice because we hadn't really practiced it. Like we practiced it once. Because
Wow, way
I've
to
been
put pressure on yourselves. Just
yeah, literally. And I remember, oh man, I was, because Melbourne was our first show on this tour, and I was like, guys, we have to sound check it, because if I don't feel like my voice is good, because I've been sick since like I've since Scream the Moo, but I've just been like trying to soldier on. I'm like, fuck, am I gonna be able to do it justice? And so that was something that I was a bit scared of. But then everybody, and I was ready to pull the plug because I was so nervous. And then it was everyone else in the band was like, no, Emmy, it sounded good. You can do this. So massive shout out to my bandmates and to the Dead Love guy for that support. Yeah, it was really good. And then also I was even more scared of talking. I get like, that's the thing I get most nervous about during our shows, is talking in between songs. And I was so nervous about that. So I probably got a little bit, I probably had a couple of drinks more than I probably should have before Melbourne, but yeah, no, the crowd were very understanding, and it was it was really beautiful moment. And so I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I did Pussy Out.
I'm so proud of you. And who knows like when it might become this, but all I can think of is you putting yourself out there, you know, every night that you play this song. It gives you an opportunity, especially with those around you who you might not even know that they've been through the same thing. You're kind of taking your power back of the situation and going, this is the way that I'll get through it, is performing this song live and with each and every person that's going to scream it back to you. And I think that, like, whether or not you really even know, like, it's, and you said people have spoken to you about it, but it's going to create such a beautiful bonding moment with your fans. And I've heard about musicians bringing out songs that are really, really dark and heavy and were hard to write, and then it's become like such a beautiful moment for them because their live performance has flipped how they feel about it, because it's now a positive memory, because it's a bonding moment. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, that 100% makes sense. And already I feel that. But it's really funny. I was thinking about when we were, because we spoke briefly the other day, and because your dog's name is Buffy, and we like quickly bonded over our mutual love of the series Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And I was
She's popped up a few times in this interview. She's here now. Hello, Buffy.
Also, cameo. Hey, Buffy.
Say hi to
Love
everyone.
you.
Sorry, please keep going.
Love a puppy cameo. But yeah, I was thinking about that in the context of this song, and why I was so scared to, like, because I was also very, very scared to write this song and to talk about this stuff, and talking about bravery, right? Everything that you just mentioned. And I was sort of even this past week, kind of, because again, like, this is the first time I've really spoken about this in depth to anyone, outside of a very, like, so many of my friends don't even know about this, and they're only finding out now because I'm talking about it, like, because of this song. But I think one of the things, like, because like, but like, Buffy was my favorite show growing up, and she was always a hero of mine. And and Buffy's, for those who don't know, like, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, man, such a kick-ass, like, fucking legend, just like, and like, never, literally, and like, in the face of monsters, makes a cool wise crack and then like kicks their ass, and like, that's and I think, like, psychologically, to me, that's who I always wanted to be, and maybe that's who I wanted to project myself to be, was like this, like, I laugh in the face of danger, like, nothing, like, this stuff doesn't affect me, kind of stuff. I think deep down, that's how, like, that's another reason for why I was denying it so much, because I was scared that I would seem like weak, because, and especially because, I didn't mention this before, but like, that experience, like, I always thought, if anybody, like, I always grew up, like, I mean, this is a fucked up thing to say, right? Because
it's a safe space.
But I feel like, based on all the conversations that I've had, even over the past couple of weeks, like, I feel lucky. I was lucky enough to grow up without any kind of horrific sexual trauma happening to me. And I know that so many of us aren't that lucky. And so I always had this delusion in my head, like, just thinking that I was tough and thinking that I was brave, and just being like, if anyone ever tried to fuck with me, I would, like, I'd fucking kill them. Like, I would, like, tear their throat out, like, just thought I was like this hell tough cunt. And then, like, sorry, campus.
No, I do the same thing. I'm from the country, and when people say things, they're like, be careful. I'm like, I'm from fucking Bairnsdale. I'm fine. Like, it's
literally,
right? Like, project.
Yeah, I'm from the Sunny Coast to represent.
Yeah.
But when this happened to me, like, I froze. Like, I froze. I didn't fight back. I couldn't fight back. My body just shut down. And that was also like, and like, a source of tremendous, like, guilt and shame as well, because suddenly this person I thought I was, like, was complete, like, my whole self-perception was completely shattered. So talking about bravery, like, I never really, it's just been like this massive wake up call, because people keep saying, like, this, it's so brave of you to write this song, and I'm like, I never, like, that didn't even really
like,
it's
I don't
just
feel like that.
Not at all. But it's just kind of the realization that there are different types of bravery, and
there are,
and that anybody, and like, and that it's completely ridiculous to feel not brave, because that was the reaction I had to that situation. And that's only something that I've only just realized, like, since, like, only in the past couple of weeks, honestly.
Again, I
Yeah.
can't thank you enough for sharing like your candidness and ability to speak about something so traumatizing for you is, I hope, going to resonate with a lot of people and give a level of depth to this. Not that it doesn't already have it, but another level of depth to this insanely powerful song. And I wanted to touch on the music of the track because, you know, sonically it starts quite low, but then you add in synths and we hear you scream a little bit, and there's almost like a dubstep style breakdown. When you, came up with the lyrics or the concept, was it difficult to get the music to kind of marry up with that and go like, okay, cool, I can portray it from a lyricism point of view, but how do you portray it musically? Because I think you've nailed that as well.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, I think the way there's usually two ways that we write songs in Redhook. And one of like, either I'll come up with like Bad Decisions, I wrote the chorus first and then we write the music around it, or Craig will write the music first and then I will put like melodies and lyrics to it. And this one, it just kind of was one of those things that just kind of fell into place because I'd had a few lyrics sort of just kind of shuffling around in my head, and then Craig just he called like the music, it was a song, he woke up at 5 a.m. and just wrote the instrumental and then sent it to me the next day, and I was listening to it and all of a sudden and like straight away that melody, the hush your mind a little bit sick of hearing, that was like kind of like a Black Bear melody, and it popped up straight away, and it just and then we took it to our very, very good friend and producer Stevie from The Dead Love, and then he just helped us take it to like that next level, and took the chorus from like, and like just made the chorus so much better, like just a few little tweaks and stuff, and just
he's a genius. He's an absolute genius.
Yeah,
everyone that he works with produces absolute gold. But like I can imagine that even, you know, Craig coming up with the musical side to it and then Stevie putting his part on it, all of them would have been second guessing it because it was such a powerful thing for you. So the fact that so many pieces were able to come together into such an incredible song. Like if you had no idea what it was about, you'd hear the song and be like, damn, that's catchy. Wow, she screams. Sick, there's a breakdown. You know what I mean? Like you'd hear it without even having any context and be like, that's a great track. And to be able to add all of the different layers to it and everyone to put their part into that and support you in doing that. I'm very grateful that you have a wonderful team of people around you, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'm so grateful to them, and it was definitely one of those songs that like it did come together so easily, and I think that's always like a really good sign that it's like, you know, I think that if I wanted to write this song and if it I'm sorry, if it had been hard, like if it had been like one of those songs where you're beating your head against the wall trying to get the chorus right, or like it might have scared me off doing it, but the fact is that it just came together so effortlessly, and like, you know, we all worked so well and symbiotically together to make it happen. It was really beautiful.
That's so great. I want to touch on something a little bit different. Let's change the lane for a quick second, because you had a really huge announcement last week that you're playing Rock AM Ring and Rock AM.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
This is fucking huge. Like when I saw it, I was playing with Green Day. Like Green Day are like arguably they are my first love in life. Like they taught me to love music, they taught me to love men. Like it was like Green Day were everything. I have 5 Green Day tattoos, like they're my life. You're playing with Green Day.
Oh my god.
Like tell me like what this means to you and how much you guys are looking forward to playing these festival slots.
Oh my gosh, it's still so surreal, and it's honestly, and it's all just happened so quickly. Like we found out the night of the Melbourne show, like after the show
Oh
during
my
load.
God.
And I was like, I was already like riding on a high from such a, because the show was so much fun. And then like, and it was just, and then we just got this message saying that that we were on these 2 festivals. I was like, holy fuck. And it's just like, literally we leave in 2 weeks. So like, I still don't even, probably haven't really processed it. We don't even know what songs we're going to play. We've just got to, yeah, we got to get our shit together real quick. But yeah, honestly, it's insane. Like the artists on that lineup, it's just such an incredible privilege to be, just to be sharing a bill with so many artists like that, and also just being able to like rep Australia as well,
Hell
over
yeah.
there for it. Because like for me, like fuck man, like especially rock emmering, like so many bands that I grew up like frothing, like it was always, you'd always like YouTube like the rock emmering
Oh, hell
performance,
yeah.
like that was
When you're
always
like
the one. Like
16, 17, I would be like, okay, I want to, and somehow they'd always have their full sets up, so you could go and watch like full sets
yes,
of, like Green Day, Jimmy Eat World, like something like that, and like watch the whole thing and just be like, wow, I can't wait to go to that festival one day, and you guys are going to play it.
oh, it's yeah, it's literally, I'm like, my mind is just like in pieces. I'm so excited. It's gonna be so much fun.
It is. And you know what? It's so well deserved. I mentioned it at the very, very start. It was the first thing I said. You guys are going from strength to strength. Like just some of the festivals you've even been able to play this year, like in Australia. Like I'm so proud of you guys. And if this is only June, like I can't wait to see what happens for the rest of the year. Yeah, I'm so happy for Redhook.
Thank you so much, Lily. Yeah, it's really nice. Like I definitely like had like, I mean, as we all did, I'm sure, like during the pandemic, like feeling like, you know, when things stagnated, and I was, and for us especially, like COVID hit right when we were sort of starting to like get a little bit of success, and we're still independent, so it was very scary. Like and we had that momentum and all of a sudden we lost it. So I was like, had so many existential crises, being like, oh my God, like that was our one chance. And like, you know, COVID just kicked it in the dick. Like it's all, you know, it's all like we've already hit our peak sort of thing. So it's really nice to, you know, yeah, like it's been crazy. And then as soon as we get back, we're going on tour with In Heart's Wake for like 3 months around Australia.
Oh
so
my
that's
God,
gonna be epic as well.
27 dates. Like
right?
what the hell?
Dude. Oh, like yeah,
I'll see
gonna
you at
have
many
to.
of them.
Yes. Oh my God. I'm so excited. It's so crazy. That's why I'm sitting out here on this balcony, because I just moved, like, because we're going to be on tour. So I can't pay rent anymore. So
Yeah,
I'm like the Wi-Fi, just trying to get this signal.
Oh God. Well, I know you start work at 4 a.m, so I'm not going to keep you too much longer. I just wanted to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for sharing your story. As a woman in the industry, it's my honor to stand beside you in this moment. This has happened to one of my sisters and one of my best friends. I've been holding their hand through the healing process, and songs like this just give survivors something to hold on to feel understood. So whether you realize you're being brave or not, you're being so brave, and I'm really, really proud of you. I want to turn to everyone who's watching or listening. Please stream or watch, pre-save, download, buy, whatever you need to do. Just listen to Jabberwocky. The song itself is so wonderful. And then you add the powerful message, and this will be your new favorite Redhook song, or even favorite song. Thank you, Emmy, and good luck with the festivals in Germany.
Thank you so much, Leah. I really appreciate it. I appreciate it. You making me feel just so safe and warm, and Buffy too.
Oh yeah, she's crying at the door. I don't know if anyone will be able to hear it, but I can hear her in the background just going,
oh my heart. Thanks so much love.
So much.